So you have this machine, and it's got a print head that goes across, and it prints on flexible substrates.
No, the 661's actually a UV printer that prints.
Okay, well, so it prints on boards then.
Hey, we were close.
The 661 is the one that prints Braille. Hey, Tony, you can come on in. We actually. Oh, Tony, come stand right over here by Chuck.
So if you're
watching,
confusion,
here's Tony. This is not Tony. This is Chuck.
and it turns out Chuck did not know any of the answers that we asked him about the Mutoh.
I was not awarded any points.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode
66
of the Slightly Serious Sign podcast. Tony from Mutoh is nice enough to join us. Arlon is nice enough to let us use their little. What do you even call this thing?
I don't know. It's like a portable booth.
Yeah, their little
space.
Portable meeting space.
They're little.
Like you could knock these walls down.
Let's do it.
Well, they tried.
If you can see in the background, you could literally knock the walls down.
Well, they tried. They were installing wall graphics on it yesterday, and I thought there was a chance it was just going to collapse on us during the meeting. So, anyways, appreciate them for letting us use this space, and appreciate Tony for meeting us this early in the morning.
Yeah, they said start time. You know, maybe my eyes are running a little bit, and my makeup's not quite done yet because it's 3:30 in the morning right now for everybody watching.
Yep. Yeah, we did it right after we hit the casinos and then came and did
We
this.
lost all of the rent money.
Yep.
And now we're here.
Yeah. Yeah, we actually we have to repay back our booth rent money now because we spent it all. But we'll figure it out before we leave here. No, I was laughing because for us, right? So it's 8 a.m. here, which for us is 11 a.m. So we've been up for
You're ready
hours.
for lunch.
Yeah, exactly.
It's lunchtime.
Yeah.
But for you, this is actually 8 a.m. So, so it's the normal time. So anyways, appreciate you coming. Do you just want to introduce yourself? Who are you? How long you been in the industry and what's your current role at Mutoh?
Yeah. So my name is Tony Simmering. I am a product manager at Mutoh America. And we have several different lines of printers and cutters and things like that. So I'm kind of responsible for the eco-solvent, dye sub, cutters. We have some multi-purpose stuff. So I've been at Mutoh for 6 years and been in the industry for about 10. I grew up in Minneapolis, and for the last 10 years or so, I've lived in what we Midwesterners would call HE double hockey sticks, which is Phoenix, which is where our headquarters is. Yeah. And so just been having a blast working with Mutoh, and we have a great team. I think I really like what we put together with you guys because I feel like we're very much humans and not the robot computer, printer company. And I feel like you guys are on that kind of same wavelength as us. And so we've been really excited to have you guys, slinging stuff for us and taking care of customers.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's been a good fit. I mean, you can say because you were kind of put the push that brought it on, but
yeah, we looked for. I mean, Mutoh came after us for quite a while. Finally, we went down to Phoenix and kind of realized like they're not, because we always thought of you guys as the company that just wanted to move boxes, and then when we went down there, we realized like no, that's not that's not really them. Like there's a personal touch to it, so. Then we signed them on, and here we are. I don't know how long. Do you know?
it's been a couple years.
Yeah, we're coming up on 2, I think.
And it's been good. It's been good partnership. Like you always stand behind them. We always stand behind them too. So you had 2 companies stand behind when stuff does go wrong, because something's always going to go wrong. 99% it's the customer. We can't always tell you that, but we'll tell you that on the podcast. 99% of the time, it's your fault.
It's you guys.
Yep, it's your fault.
Hey, but just know that if you're one of our customers and you had an issue, it wasn't your fault.
And if you bought it from somebody else, it was the other distributor's fault.
I will say, though, that I almost never hear from you guys. And in my line of work, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Like, it means you guys got it together.
Yep.
So I always appreciate, when I do hear something, through the network, it's usually good about you guys. So, we'll take the win there.
That's good.
Yeah, we've had very few issues. And when we did, it was like, we got it handled, we got it taken care of right away. But we have very good technicians too that after the first couple, like we have it dialed in pretty good.
Yeah, because I think when you guys came down to Phoenix, like pretty quickly in the conversation, like Domingo was like, so what's wrong with all your stuff?
Yeah.
And I was like, record scratch, hang on a second. And so I knew you guys were like, ready to take care of business and take care of our customers. Yeah. I
mean, we tell people this, right? I mean, we've been dealers with other equipment companies for forever. I mean, almost as long as I've been alive for some of them. And the reason we picked some of these is because we historically have serviced most of our own equipment, right? So I always tell people, like, the reason we have the companies that we have is because we know we can stand behind them, right? Like, if we had a lot of issues, it doesn't make sense, right? We don't want to take the phone calls. We don't want to send techs out to fix it. I don't want to do any of that, right? I just want to sell the machine and have it work, right? So when Domingo's asking that type of question, right, it's because it's like, okay, we're not going to bring it on if we're going to have a huge headache on our hands, right? Regardless of if we can make a lot of money or if the price is right. Like, none of that matters if the equipment isn't going to work the way it's intended to. And yeah, like on my side of things, like the meetings we've had this week, I always tell people, like, when I start hearing about it, from our customers, I know it's getting really bad because I'm not on the front lines, right? I'm not talking to customers every day. So when I start hearing about it from reps or customers, it means like it's gotten loud enough that like many people are getting involved. And I don't ever hear about it on Mutoh's side of things. I can't say that for for some of the other options we have.
Let's name names.
Yeah. I mean, we've had some issues lately with some other vendors that we never had problems with, and it's for me, it's when I get the email or the call, like, Mike, we need you on this call, and then send me the whole email of the situation. Yeah. Then I'm like, okay, it's now escalated all the way to me to be on the call, and then it usually gets handled pretty quick because there's people like I just be done. Like I just can't stand when, if it's not our fault and it's not the customer's fault, like, take care of it. And you guys have always been, we haven't even had that situation yet. But
no, we haven't.
Other vendors have, and it's like, then they still try to blame us. I'm like, okay, well then, we just won't use you. Like, that's just how it is. Like, in the end, we want that customer for the next 2 generations.
Yep.
And if we sell them a bad machine or they have a bad experience with the machine, we're not going to even get that generation, let alone the next 2.
Yeah, they say that the first sale is obviously your salespeople, but every sale after that is your service team and your applications group and all of the support staff that, they set the tone for that experience, and that's kind of what puts you through.
It'll get you to that next machine.
Yeah.
Really, it's a service guy and then the service behind it.
Yep. So, if you guys are familiar with, if you've listened to all of our episodes, we had Kevin from Mutoh on.
Shout out Kevin.
Episode 19. So what we talked about on that one was the 661 at the time, then the new one that was coming out, because that's the timeline on that one. So that's UV flatbed. We talked about 88 braille, all that kind of stuff. So we've already covered that. If you're interested in that equipment from Mutoh, I would go listen to that episode. We're not going to rehash
episode 19, right?
19. Yep.
It's right.
Yeah, it's
if you're watching, it's
on
right
the screen.
here.
It's on the screen. It's in one of these corners or the bottom or on the screen. I don't know. Rick will figure it out. So, but anyways, he'll go through all that. So what we want to talk about, you have, I say new, but it's not quite as new as probably when we originally planned to do this episode.
Yeah, but we're also people that call that new Chinese restaurant, the new Chinese restaurant for the last 12 years.
Yeah, it's new as long as nothing has replaced it yet.
If nothing comes next, it's always the new.
It could be 10 years, but no, anyways. You came out with a small format roll of print and cut. I was like, wow, why am I blanking on the word print and cut? So we want to kind of talk about what that looks like, how that's moving for you guys, and kind of how it works and all that good stuff. So do you want to give an overview on what that printer is, and kind of why you guys brought it into the market?
Yeah, so I think the last time we really talked about it, I couldn't even tell you what it was at the time. Yeah. And I'm like, so if you think that if we hypothetically came out with a device that was 24 inches, it printed and it cut it. It was eco-solvent, single head. Like, I just named every single feature on the thing. And I was like, would you guys like that?
Yeah. And the conversation before that was, okay, so say we were going to come out with like a smaller one. Like, what size do you think it would be like? Like, do you like the 20 inch? I'm like, well, 20 is kind of like, it's not a great size, like compared to the rolls we get. It's like, yeah, so like, would 24 be better? I was like, yeah, probably 24 would be better. He's like, yeah, like, do you guys move a lot of them? Do you have a lot of customers interested in them? I was like, I mean, we get people asking about them. He's like, okay, cool. That was the whole conversation. Like, okay, that's a weird conversation to have, but sure.
Yeah. I was trying to be like purposely like cryptic about it. There was no reason to.
Yeah.
But yeah, we launched in October at Printing United our ExpertJet C641 SR Pro, which is our 24-inch eco-solvent single head print and cut machine. And it's kind of Mutoh's first foray into that space in a couple of ways. And so primarily it's print and cut together. And so we've always kind of had this messaging of, if you've got the square footage, having a separate printer and a separate plotter is the way to go. And in many cases, that's still true. But when we came out with this, we figured out that not only can we hit like the people that are starting Etsy stores and, you know, doing small time in their craft room stuff.
Soccer moms.
Yes, soccer moms. Shout out soccer moms too. We can also look at people that have larger industrial equipment, and this can offload a lot of that little work that you don't want to bog down the machine with. And so we found that was almost equally as important, because this machine that we've built is a quality machine. This isn't something that you pick up at Joann Fabrics and, you know, just hope it works. And
It's not a Cricut.
it's not a Cricut. I didn't want to call anybody out, but it's not a Cricut.
I don't think any of them are going to listen and be offended. Well, if they are, they probably already know that.
Listen,
though,
we
so.
had a Cricut at our house.
Yeah. Which
How
is
did we
kinda
end up
funny.
with a Cricut at our house?
I don't know. It's pretty questionable, though. I'm going to be honest with you. With all the available equipment.
Yeah,
We've talked about
you
this
got
before.
a whole lab to work with.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a Cricut at our house, and when Tyler's mom bought stuff to make her own shirts, didn't even buy our stuff. Bought it from somebody else online not from us, not our brands.
She didn't even buy a brand that we sell at the moment. I don't know.
And the day before she bought that stuff, we were out to dinner with B-Flex. He transfer vinyl. Like, well, you just bought their competition. Oh, I didn't know it. They sold that.
But anyways, yeah, not a Cricut.
Not a Cricut.
Not anything in that
so,
kind of
so
space
like when we
there.
talk about our larger stuff, I personally, we kind of have a messaging that we give for what we want people to think about when they think about our products. And what I think about when I think about our products is what I've been told too aggressive, which is that they're workhorses. They think that that's too like masculine or too like mean.
Yeah.
But they just go, they run and run and run. And so when I call the bigger ones the workhorses, this is the work little pony. It has all the same stuff that the bigger ones have, but just in a little tiny form factor. So we're able to jam in a lot of like the automatic alignments and print calibration stuff that the bigger ones have in this nice small kind of form factor. Yeah.
Are you going to ask later what the difference is in the other brands? Because he
Yeah.
might not say it, but I'll say it. Like the other brand, there's other of his competitors in this space, but some of them are so slow you could actually paint it and then cut it out by hand faster than it can print and cut. So this one's not. This one has enough speed where it warrants putting it. The other ones didn't have enough speed where we'd always say, hey, you're just doing these stickers for those machines. Why use your big machine? You could use a little
Yeah.
one. But you'd set the printer in the morning, and at 5 o'clock at night, you'd have 4 of them done.
Yeah, I mean, so like the other brands historically, we have used the leads they sent in for that smaller equipment to sell them into bigger equipment because we didn't even want to sell them the smaller ones if we were being honest with you. Versus this one, I think if the right customer is looking at this equipment, it's going to work for what they need it to do, right? Like if that 24-inch form factor will work for you, this is the perfect printer then. Like if you can keep it within that 24-inch, the speed and the cut will work perfectly for what you're going to need it for. So
What I was alluding to is that this is the gateway drug of printers.
Oh yeah, it is.
Yeah. So,
but like we talk about that all the time, right? Like we historically have sold a lot of used equipment, and it's just it's really the only reason we're selling you used equipment is not because we're pumped to sell you used equipment, right? Like it's not usually great. A lot of work goes into that, but that's what it is. It's the gateway drug to a new printer and another new printer and a new printer. I mean, we've sold used equipments to people that now have, 3 printers, 2 rollover tables and 2 cutters in the back of their shop, right? And they started with 1 used printer or 1 small printer. And that's kind of the whole goal. So for you guys, this makes perfect sense, right? Where it's looking to get that customer that's just starting, right, in their home or in their garage or in their little. It's another separate piece of their business, right? Like, okay, we do stickers now instead of buying them. Why don't we just make them in house ourselves? And the price is there where it makes sense to at least try it. Especially
the price is really there.
Yeah, 100%. Especially if you're in the space of like the wrap companies will be annoyed that I say this to you, but if you're in the space where you're doing like truck letters, right? You're doing like small stuff, right? This makes perfect sense for you because you're going to make them all yourself and you'll by the time you're 3-4 installs in, you probably have paid for it. I mean, if you're wrapping the trucks, please, I would at least either get some training or keep a professional from doing it. I'll send, if I remember, Rick asked me when you're listening to this, if I haven't sent it to you, but I'll send Rick a picture of the taxis that are here in Vegas that they just wrap over the emblems on the side of the car. So where it says like hybrid on the side, it's just a tinted vinyl. They didn't even try. If you're doing that, probably hire a professional. But if you're just doing letters on the side of your truck, this would be perfect.
Well, and people what they don't realize too is that the way that we built this machine is that it can function as two separate machines in one, so to speak. So if you wanted to do like color change vinyl and just cut it, and I don't know why you would ever do this, but you could just use this as a cutter if you wanted to.
Well, I see it as not only just a startup, but I also see it as an add-on. Because how many shops do you walk into where one person has to sit at the front counter to watch the front counter, and then meanwhile you have the 54-inch or 64-inch printer printing, 2x2 stickers, and then they keep having to go back because they're actually helping apply them at the front counter. Why not put that little printer right on the counter with her and let her print them and grab them as she can go? Like, and for the amount of money, like you can run your 64-inch with your vinyl wraps, where the lady up front or the man up front could be printing those stickers. And now that has the speed and it can cut and it's a relatively small platform. Yeah, like you could put it right up front with the person up front.
Yeah, so we talked about like who the ideal customer is, and I'll let you weigh in on that too. But from our perspective, that's kind of who it is. We're looking at two ends of the spectrum, right? So you're looking at somebody who's new, and most of them are going to probably be familiar with cut, right? That's usually how people get started in this, right? So like, I have a Cricut or a Silhouette, or if you're lucky, a small Graphtec. Usually that's not the case though. And they're looking to go to that next size, that next speed, or anything like that. And usually that's how we end up getting involved. Is someone's like, yeah, I've been looking at this very specific unit. And so there's that side. And then the second side is that customer that, they have one printer and they've been keeping it so busy, but not busy enough that they're like, well, I don't really want to spend another, 12, 13, 14, 15 grand on another 54, 64-inch printer. But I would also like to offload some of these stickers off of my machine that's currently printing wraps, So that's how I see it. But how have you guys seen it in practice, like actually as they're selling out into the field?
Did we send you our internal marketing plan?
You probably did,
because that was like the nail on the head right there. That's exactly kind of where when we look at like long-term strategy, because we've been working on this for a long time.
Yeah.
Like I started getting looped in on this printer, I want to say over 2 years ago. And it fits perfectly into our portfolio in that way, in that we don't really have up until now anything that touches that home consumer market.
If you're at home listening, the sound, like we're in the trade show, like before it opens and high-lows are driving by, people are stomping over here.
It's literally, like, you could hear this cart going back and forth.
There's a cart going back and forth, like, so just ignore that sound.
Union guys, am I right?
Yeah, union guys.
Shout out unions.
Yeah, we don't want them mad at us. We still got to get out of the show.
Yeah, don't. They won't hear this till after we're done.
We should be good, but yeah, that makes perfect sense. From
it was a perfect fit for not only capturing new people like you talked about at that entry level, but capturing people that have equipment already and just need some more bandwidth. Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you guys, but I just want to take a minute to talk about Nakusa, the name behind R-Tape. R-Tape's the #1 application tape out there, but they are more than just tape now. Nakusa has a full range of products out there. Their new one is called NextBond. This is a UV cured adhesive. Why does that matter? It's an eco-friendly and durable option, but comparable to most of the eco-friendly options, this is a cost-effective product. So if you're looking for an eco-friendly product or a durable product or just in general a good vinyl, NextBond is going to be the one for you. This is available at wensco.com as well as all of their other products. So check it out at Wensco or reach out if you have any questions. Oh, and don't forget to use your Nakusa bucks. Have you heard about Metamark? Metamark is a company that sells premium graphic solutions for commercial and fleet signage. So whether that's walls or it's vehicles or it's tables or doors, we loved it so much we put it all over the podcast studio. So you can check it out on our videos or at wensco.com. So you mentioned it earlier, but I'll let you weigh in on it too. Where does this compare to the other its competitors in this space? Yeah,
so actually at ISA here at the show, we have a TV next to our printer up on my grand, beautiful big stage.
Yeah, your pedestal that
my
they put you
pedestal.
on.
Yeah. I was asking for a top hat and like a little tuxedo thing.
They didn't give you one though?
No.
They said that was too much.
They were like, you're a showman, but you're not the greatest showman. So we have a TV next to it, and it's playing a side-by-side video that we shot with our main competitor and doing just a time trial. And it's a apples to apples raw. It's edited because it's a 12-minute endeavor because of our competitor. So we sped up some certain parts of it, but we're twice as fast overall. And so for the price point that we're at, which is not a lot more really at all than our competitor, you have a wider print width and it's twice as fast. And so we've been hitting that messaging pretty hard, and it's been received really well. Some other people are shaking in their boots a little bit, and that's good. I think the industry needed something like that to happen in this space.
Yeah. There's not a lot of equipment in that space, and the stuff that is in that space is in a certain section of this show. I won't mention what typically it's called here, but not from a brand you're going to know, or somebody you even recognize, or even something you can look up online. For the most part, it's just like this equipment. You see it at every show. It's got a different name, same general footprint, but it looks different every time, right? And there's a lot of people that I think before you and the competitor entered the space, that's what their option was, right? They were just buying something from wherever, right? And it was getting shipped in, self-install, and they're like, there's no help. I can't call anybody. If I do call somebody, it's not easy to understand what's going on. So it's good to have another option in the space. I mean, that's kind of what we've been talking about too. Like when you only have one option, it's not usually great for the consumer to only have one choice.
Well, I was sort of nervous for a second when you guys are like, let's talk about all the competitors in this space. And I'm like, I think we're talking about like one or two people here.
Exactly.
I think people can put together pretty quickly.
I mean, and we sell the other main one.
Yeah.
And we sell a fair amount of them, but like we're very honest with like, okay, it's a hobby printer because of the speed, not because of the quality, but because of the speed. Like it can print great quality,
100%. Yeah.
but it's just very slow. Like you have to have a lot of time on your hands, which works for a lot of soccer moms. But like if you can go twice as fast, like that's how I am anyways. Like why wait?
Yeah.
That's more soccer games intended.
That's exactly right. Well, I also think like, we had a customer that he was in the shipping department, but they wanted to print. They had to print specific labels for specific products as they go out the door, but they want their color logo on it, and they're looking at all different options. And when they were looking at your competitor, I'm like, it's not fast enough. It's literally not fast enough to do what you want to do, because you need 4 labels. You're going to hold that driver there for a few minutes or more. And now that yours come out, like, okay, it's actually fast enough now. Like you guys could get this one instead.
Yeah.
So like, and their application works well because of what it has to stick on and what kind of vinyl they needed to use to have it stick on. So like they needed basically an inkjet type printer, and they'd only had space. They're in a little, you've seen those warehouses. They have like a smaller than this room right here that they sit in. So yeah, I told them they could probably paint it faster than.
So I'll let you weigh in on this first, because I have kind of my own feelings on it. But the pushback we get on some of these print and cut devices is like, okay, but don't I need to laminate it? They're talking about everything, right? Stickers, anything going on a vehicle, anything like that. What is kind of your guys's? And that's their argument to like, well, I don't really need to print and cut because I'm already gonna have to take it off anyways. What difference does it make really for me? What's kind of your guys' argument for somebody who's set on, I don't need to print and cut because I'm going to have to laminate it anyways?
Well, I guess really it comes down to square footage in that case. Our messaging hasn't changed in terms of if you've got the square footage, 2 machines is going to be quite a bit faster, just overall production. But if you're space limited, it makes perfect sense, because now you don't have to figure out how to fit some little cutting 24-inch thing hanging around. You know?
I don't want to make Sam Crosby mad, but you don't have to laminate everything that comes off your printer.
You don't.
Like you can, like if you're printing stickers for your kid's baseball game, whatever, you can, and you want to easy apply. Like a lot of people say, oh, you can apply it better with laminate. You can buy a 6mm vinyl that's easy apply. Yeah. And there's other vinyls that are easy apply, and you don't need to laminate. Like how long's your kid going to be 8 years old in baseball? 1 year.
Yeah.
It's going to last outside.
Yeah, that was kind of going to be my argument on it too. Some of these vinyls have gotten so good that, I mean, we sell a 3-year outdoor rated vinyl that's unlaminated, right? Like if you're going to put that on a car, like if you're to keep it on your car for more than 3 years, you probably don't actually care about what the message says anymore, right? Your interests have probably changed in the last 3 years.
Political.
Yeah, you made it through the whole season.
We flip flop, yeah,
exactly.
every time. So you got to change your sticker.
Yeah, you can just
on
put the
your car.
next one right over top of the other one, and you won't have to take it off. So, but yeah, like the vinyls have gotten so good that you don't really have to worry about that as much if you're in the sticker side of the business, right?
But you can. So you can take it off, laminate it, reload it, and cut it.
Yeah.
So it's there.
And you can get that size laminator too. You can get a 24-inch laminator.
Yep.
That's relatively inexpensive too.
You can also just get a 30.
You get a 30.
It's literally
from Sam.
It's almost the same.
You could get a 72-inch laminator.
You should.
Yeah.
Well, think about it. I mean, if you get a 60-inch laminator, you can laminate like 5 wide almost on that thing.
Tyler, you can't even laminate 1 wide without getting wrinkles.
Oh yeah,
in it.
I know. Well, I mean, if it's not very big, I'd probably be pretty good. It usually takes me a few feet before it starts wrinkling, so I'm usually pretty good. But yeah, no, I mean, you can get laminate and you can pull it off, laminate it, and cut it and all that good stuff. But it's not always necessary. It's kind of my push on it from there. So we talked about how much faster is. What kind of speed are you looking at for this unit?
Yeah, so print speed kind of top out is really around 200 square feet an hour, 190 square feet an hour. And so when we talk about paint drying, the original competitor model was 6 square feet an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looked like 6 square feet an hour.
It did look like 6 square feet an hour.
And then they came out with their speedy model, which was, drumroll, 20 square feet an hour.
Yeah, and
It looked a lot
even
faster
people
though.
that are listening don't think like your 200 square feet an hour is fast. On a 24-inch machine, that's fast.
Yeah.
Because obviously the wider the machine, the faster square footage you can go because that gantry is going the whole way without having to go back.
Yeah.
But that's fast.
Yep. Yeah, it's definitely a big upgrade, especially if you're doing like standard 3-4 inch stickers. Like 200 square feet that's a lot of stickers in an hour, right? Like if you're maxing that out or you're running that thing all day, you probably should have just bought a 54 to start with, to be honest.
Honestly,
if you're already running that much speed, like you can definitely afford it by then. So, it's kind of the perfect fit where I don't think at that point speed really becomes as much of a limiting factor. And if it is, then you probably undersold what you actually needed for your business, which might have been on us, selling the equipment to you. So, that's interesting for sure. But, so I asked, and you can go through this again too, but do you see a lot of the larger shops using this as a way to offload jobs from
100%.
From their bigger equipment?
100%. And if I'm being totally honest, I did not, when we see this printer on our roadmap as like just a title and a very rough description, that's not where I thought this was going to go at all.
Yeah.
I thought it was totally going to be somebody starting an Etsy store only.
Yeah.
Like only. And there's been a shockingly good amount of people that, hey, I have a 1641 SR Pro, 1682 SR Pro, and I just want to put this in the corner and have it run our decals and stuff like that. And that's been a very large percentage of what we're selling into.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I first saw it was Print United, right?
Yeah.
When I first saw it at Print United, that's exactly what, with the speed, that's exactly what I thought it's going to be an add-on piece to a lot of these shops that even have 2 or 3 printers, because of the footprint and, utilizing another employee.
Yeah.
That doesn't have to wait for those big printers. And, I think of some of these shops we walk in where they have 6 printers running, but then they have this little job that comes in and they'll turn it down. And like, wait a minute, you don't have to turn it down. You can put this little guy up front.
Yeah.
Well, and what's great about this thing too is that we've built a whole training and installation video program for this unit. So I don't want to say it's completely end-to-end user installable, but it is to a point where if you really follow the videos closely, you can just do this by yourself. And what's really the advantage there is that we're in a real world where there's turnover, there's things that happen where there's people that are forgetful, and this is a really good...
There's stupid people too.
Shout out stupid people. Love you guys. There are those too. And so we built a program that really allows you to just keep making money with it.
Yeah. Yeah. That was one of the questions on besides the printer, but like how easy is the software side of this type of unit for somebody who isn't familiar with large format? Is this something that's relatively easy for them to run?
Yeah, for sure. So when we were developing this, the software team approached me and they had some questions about usability and ease of use and things like that. And like what I came back to them was like, you need to be able to take a dude at a gas station, like a gas station attendant, and be able to get him to be able to use this.
Yeah.
And they didn't know what I was saying at all.
Yeah.
So after some refinement,
You should have just brought me in. Let's see if he can do it after the training. And if I can't, then okay, we got to do it, because I'm one of the guys like I'm not very good with software and that kind of stuff. But like, I can run most of the printers now.
Yeah.
But like that's the type of person you're looking at, like someone like me that can like, okay, I don't know anything about
like
this.
maybe
I mean,
you're
I
a
do, but I
technical
don't.
person, maybe you work on cars or something.
Yeah.
Like you understand like mechanical stuff, but maybe you're not. Yeah.
Yeah, where I'm
The
like even
software.
like the software part's usually the hardest part, but I think your software's gotten really good. I think most of them, not all of them. Some are still very complicated, like they only want certain users to use them. But
One specific competitor. If I'm being honest.
there's one that's really
that we
bad.
also sell.
Yeah, but we built Vertilith, which is our software. We built that kind of from the ground up a few years ago, and what that was giving us control, but control in the way of ease of use and being able to pivot and iterate very quickly. So at least I am very open to feedback from our user base that if we get a report that something's difficult or something doesn't work right, or I found a bug, like we get that past the software team and they get to work.
Yeah.
And
it's more than it's not just a driver. It's not just send the file here and it can print. It can do a lot. A lot of people
Yes.
think, oh, I might still need Onyx, but you don't really, unless you're getting to so many printers. Like it can do all that stuff.
yes.
And a lot of people don't understand that, like, oh, it just drives it, so I got to load the file and then I just hit print and Vertilith and it goes. And that's not true.
You can apply finishing, you can do trimming, you can do all kinds of stuff in there, just right within the RIP, and we get a lot of control over how we move things around on the page and stuff. So that's really why we built it, and we have videos on how to use that software.
Yep.
So you go through your videos to set this thing up, and then you go straight into videos on how to use it.
Yeah.
And
I did that training.
you did that training.
Passed.
I can check.
You can check. I did
I can
it.
check.
I bet I was one of the first ones at Wensco because they gave it to Wensco to do, and I'm like, I better do this because I'm going to be yelling at everybody else for not doing it. I did it right away.
Yeah, I think
I didn't learn anything though. I might not have been paying attention.
He just was trying to get the check mark at the
But
end.
it's there. You could do it
It's
again.
there.
Yeah.
Yep.
You can do it again.
I will say, like, so you're talking about like somebody who's new, right? It's a pretty easy to use. But if you're talking about somebody who has used any of the other options in the market, right? Like when I first used Vertilith, I hadn't touched the training, anything, right? We just had to print, and I was like, okay, well, it's in here, so I guess I'll use it today. And load a job in there, and everything just makes sense. Like if you're familiar with any RIP software, where it's just like, okay, here's where I add the job, settings. Okay, here's all my tabs. Like it all just like the order you would think it would be in is the order that it's in, right? If you're just going to go through like, okay, add the job, make sure the size is correct, make sure my trim marks are in there, make sure I have all these things set up right. And it just goes in order, and then, okay, print. And then the first time I used it, we printed and I didn't have any issues. So it's like,
Yeah,
okay, this is pretty straightforward.
I've interacted with every game in town.
Yeah.
And everybody wants their fingers in what we're doing. So I've played with everybody's tool.
Yeah.
And non-biased, it is the best RIP in terms of ease of use. Some of them have modules and you got to dig for stuff. Everything is, like you said, it's right there. It's easy to use. And I really like it. I have situations where I could be using other stuff, and I always go back to our RIP.
Yeah. Makes sense. I don't have a ton of other questions left, but one of the ones I do have that we have run into is people asking about, say I'm doing a big job of stickers, right? We're doing, 100, 200 stickers. How well does this unit handle like these long runs? Like, is there a limit on how many feet you can run without having issues, or how does that typically work?
Well, what I've kind of been telling people is that once you start getting into longer jobs, from a technical perspective, you can go as long as you want. You could load an infinity roll if those exist and just keep cutting and printing stickers all day. Our software has what's called segmented positioning for the crop marks. So it can print crop marks in whatever increment you want for the length of the job. And that helps with tracking over long distances. But I think people need to have like a realistic expectation about like what you're working with. Like it's a 24-inch print and cut machine.
Yep.
It's going to at some point bunch all up on the floor.
Yep.
It doesn't have a take-up reel on it?
So it does. You can get it. There's an optional take-up reel.
That's funny.
There's an optional take-up reel. But I think we imagine that more for like poster printing and things like that.
That's someone,
makes sense.
that's someone that wants to sit it and go to this grocery store and come back and the roll will be done.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I just am curious on the that feature that you're talking about where it registers the marks every few feet is something that is kind of become pretty familiar in the industry. So that's a big plus. But yeah, I mean, I wasn't exactly expecting somebody to, cut an entire, semi-trailer of graphics. But I just need one graphic for my whole trailer.
Listen, somebody already did it. They paneled 24-inch, a whole trailer. Guaranteed it's happening.
Yeah, they print it the long way. All
print
50,
the long way.
53 feet.
Yep.
They printed it.
And they paneled
cut it. Yeah, I'm sure somebody has done it. Yeah, I mean, even the best cutters in our industry the limit they'll put out there is something like 50 feet right on it. But
I will say though, we sponsored the Never Stop Learning demo depot here at ISA, and there's a gigantic floor graphic of their logo. It's got to be like 30 feet, 50 feet wide, something like that. And our equipment shot it right through, and I didn't hear anything, which again is in my line of work is amazing.
Is the best case scenario. Yeah, that's cool. Guys, before we leave today, I just wanted to ask you one quick question, and that is, what is a pirate's favorite application tape? R tape. R tape is the #1 application tape in the United States, and it comes with an RLA, which is a release liner adhesion, meaning it's going to stick to the liner. Even on cut graphics, if you roll it, it's not going to tunnel, wrinkle, or curl, or anything like that. So if you're looking for the best application tape for cut graphics out there, R tape RLA is for you, and you can get it at wensco.com. Well, I had other questions, but we're going to get kicked out of here pretty soon. So I'll wrap up. We might be able to do another episode.
We'll pick it up in the hallway.
Yeah, that sounds good. So thanks for coming on. Appreciate it. The last question we always ask is, what do you think sets Mutoh apart from its competitors in the market?
Yeah, I think what sets us apart is kind of what I talked about at the beginning, is that we're humans. We are not robot computer printer company corporation that doesn't listen to our customers and doesn't want to have real friendly interactions with our distributors. Like, we care about you guys and you guys care about your customers, and we don't keep distributors around for very long that don't care about their customers. And I think that level of support and education and just making sure that our customers are making money, especially with the times being the way that they are, that's what's important to us. And I think that's what sets us apart for sure.
Perfect. Well, thanks again for coming on, getting here nice and early for the show. So
yeah, appreciate it.
Thanks for listening, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. I had a great time. It's one of my favorite ones we've done in a while, so I appreciate it. And we'll see you guys in the next episode. So
hey, where can they buy the printer?
Oh, you can buy it at wensco.com.
Okay, thanks.
Reach out, request a quote. We'll send you and get it. We'll get it to you as quickly as we can. So you guys have them in stock?
Oh yeah.
Okay, perfect. And that he means that forever. If you listen to this 5 years in the future, it still stands. Tony has admitted to it, so we'll still be good.
Yep.
So he's I plead the fifth. I didn't say anything. Thanks, guys, and we'll see you in the next episode. So
yeah, bye.
Bye.